There was a very big fight here in Melbourne last weekend. Would like to get your thoughts on the Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm fight. Don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but what did you think of it? Because a lot of people were blown away by the result.
I wasn't blown away. I felt like that if anybody was going to beat her, it would be Holly Holmes. Because if you watched, and being a fighter, if you watched Ronda has always taken punishment in the first part of the fights with people that don't even know how to strike, people who were just banging with her. And Ronda got the worst end of all of that until she took him down. And then she was able to ground him out and submit him. But she took punishment from every one of those girls, and they weren't even really that great strikers. Now you got one that's an absolute stud in striking, and Ronda did the same thing she's always done, and all Holly Holmes did, which was the master plan, that to beat Ronda was to always back up, and Ronda's going to chase you because she's not afraid of anybody, and she can take a punch, and she don't mind taking punches. So Holly just said, okay, fine, I'll just back up, and I'll cater you. I'll keep punching you until you figure it out. And the problem with it is that Ronda never figured it out. Holly just kept backing up. She stepped in and hit her with a hook, a punch, whatever was there, bang, 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 she'd back up again. Ronda would come forward again and do the same thing, just walk straight in, bang, 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 and she'd back up. And pretty soon she hit Ronda enough to where she was off balance, and then she threw a kick and kicked her in the head. But Ronda has always been very, very, very bad about defending strikes.
Well, let me ask you this, Ken. Do you think that Ronda can come back stronger from this loss and potentially become champion again? Or do you think that stylistically wise, Holly Holm is just too tough of a matchup?
I think it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think she can do it. I really do. I think she'll change her game plan, which I really thought, and I was surprised that they didn't change it up because of who Holly is. Holly is a great striker. She's not a journeyman. She is a professional. And I was really shocked to see the game plan that they came in with her coming forward like that, just walking straight in, because that was the method of beating her, was letting her come to Holly and Holly back up and just keep punching her and backing her up with the jab and hitting her with the right hand. I mean, it was a perfect setup, and I was really shocked that the training staff in her corner did not make her circle or at least try to back up and get Holly to come to her. It was like constant forwardness, and it was a recipe for disaster.
Well, just quickly, and we'll let you go in just a second, Ken, but let's say you were training Ronda, let's say she was in the Lions Den. What advice would you have given her? What do you think the game plan would have been in that fight? How do you beat someone like Holly Holm?
I'd have had her circling to the left and try to get around her and keep pressing forward, but don't punch. And press and make Holly throw punches and then get under her and take her down, or at least get her to the fence. But don't punch, because that's when she's open. I would have not made her like she does every time, is come straight out and straight in and just go forward. I would have had her circling the ring and changing angles and keeping her hands up and try to force a clinch. But, she just came straight out, straight in and throwing punches, and, Holly's a pro. And, there's just no way she can win that battle.
She's definitely in a point in her career that she's never been in, losing in a way like that. You've been around the sport for a really long time, and you've seen it all. If Ronda Rousey was listening to this program, what's one piece of advice you could give her to sort of bounce back from this whole situation?
Well, I'd go back and look at the tapes of her last 3 or 4 fights, and watch the transition from those fights going into where she lost the fight. And she'll see it was the same thing over and over again. She would come in and do the same thing she did in that fight. The only difference was she got a professional in there that was a professional striker. Wasn't a journeyman, but was a professional, one of the best in the world at striking. And so look at that and then understand how you beat that. And how you beat it is not standing in front of them, keeping your hands up and try to circle and get a clinch, not to strike with them.